Attention, Commanders family. What's coming is pure fire. Cincinnati Bengals cornerback Cam Brit just dropped some spicy comments about our offense, saying it's like a college team. Yeah, you heard that right. This is going to stir things up in DC and beyond. And watch out, we're heading into week 3, and the Commanders need to act fast with some key free agents who could make a difference. Josh Norman, among other names, is on the radar. Should we snag some of these veterans? The details on these potential reinforcements are crucial and could change the course of the season. Last but definitely not least, the one and only Joe Burrow, the star QB of the Bengals, has made it clear he's a fan of our new QB, Jayden Daniels. What's going on here? Is it just admiration, or is there something more? Don't go anywhere, because this could be the start of something big for our team. Hit that bell and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. This is heating up, and remember, hail to the Redskins. All right, Commanders family. Cam Brit, the Bengals CB, dared to call our offense a college offense. Yeah, you heard that right. That's a total disrespect towards Cliff Kingsbury and our QB, Jayden Daniels. Now, how does this guy have the nerve to say that? Seriously? Does he think our offense is basic, predictable, lacking creativity? Let me tell you, it's not as simple as Brit makes it out to be. Think about it. We're talking about an offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, who has years of experience in this game. Sure, he's not perfect. He's had his ups and downs, but a college offense? I believe Brit is underestimating what's being built in Washington. Now I ask you, is Kingsbury's system really that simple? Because if it were, how is it that Daniels has been making key plays in the last games? I'll tell you this. Jayden Daniels, in his early games, has shown he can handle pressure, adjust plays on the fly, and get results in tough situations. Does that sound like a college offense to you? And before you say that Cam Brit might have a point because he's made some good interceptions this season, let me tell you this. Making a spectacular play now and then doesn't give you the right to disrespect others. Yeah, he snagged a pass against the Chiefs, but are we really going to accept that as a justification for putting down other teams? I'm not buying it. I'm not saying Brit isn't good at what he does, but throwing shade at the Commanders? That's where I draw the line. Now let's get to the important part. What does this mean for us? Brit is throwing down the gauntlet, and we need to respond. It's true that Kingsbury is keeping a more basic scheme to help Daniels build confidence, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Isn't it part of a good strategy to ease a young QB into things so he can develop, and then, bam, unleash the heavy artillery when he's ready? So what do you prefer? Watching Daniels take unnecessary risks from day one, or seeing him grow and become the QB we all know he can be? I'm convinced the best is yet to come. And it's not that I'm defending Kingsbury blindly, but I believe he's doing the right thing to put our team on the path to success. Brit can talk all he wants, but at the end of the day, the scoreboard is the only thing that matters. I'm going straight to the point, Commanders fans, because this can't wait. We're about to head into week 3, and while we had a great win over the Giants under Dan Quinn, what are we doing about the holes still in our roster? Let's be clear, we can't get complacent with what we have. There are still problems we haven't resolved, and if we don't act fast, the Bengals' aerial attack is going to tear us apart. I'm telling you, there are still free agents we should consider, and some of them could give us the boost we desperately need. First, let's talk about what's missing in our offense. Who among you doesn't think we need another reliable receiver? Jayden Daniels, our rookie, is doing his best, but he's still relying way too much on Zach Ertz and Austin Ekeler. We can't let that continue. We need someone who can navigate through defenders, a safety net on short and intermediate plays. And I ask you, who better than Gage to fill that role? How is it possible this guy is still without a team? He was one of Tom Brady's favorites. A guy who knows how to separate in the slot and has already shown what he can do in the NFL. What happened to Gage? Yeah, he's been dealing with knee injuries, but he was on the Ravens practice squad this season, and from what we've seen, he's ready to come back. I believe a guy with the ability to play in the middle and stretch the field is exactly what this team needs to give Daniels an option beyond the tight ends and running backs. And looking at what he did with the Falcons, making spectacular catches, I say he's the guy we need right now. Now, what about our defense? Here's the big question. How are we going to stop the Bengals? with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase coming our way. I'll tell you this, our cornerback group isn't ready. We can't rely solely on young guys like Mike Sainristil and untested veterans like Michael Davis. Patrick Peterson is the name that should be on our radar. Yeah, he's 34 years old, but he's an 8-time Pro Bowler, folks. How many of our current corners have that kind of track record? None. Patrick Peterson can still play, and he proved it last season with the Steelers. What did he do? He adapted, moving to the slot and covering guys like Christian Watson, and he did it well. Are you going to tell me we don't need that experience and savvy in a defensive unit that has allowed 11.7 yards per reception and a passer rating of 127.6? Those numbers are embarrassing, and I'm not saying this to offend our guys, but it's the truth. How can we expect to compete at a high level if we keep ignoring the problems in our secondary? I'm telling you, bring Peterson in for a workout, talk to him, see what he can offer. Because if we keep going like this, Burrow and company are going to tear us apart. Let's get straight to it, folks. Joe Burrow, the star QB of the Cincinnati Bengals, has made it clear he's a huge fan of the Washington Commanders' new quarterback, Jayden Daniels. Now, some of you might be asking, why is Burrow taking the time to talk about Daniels, a rookie just starting his NFL career? I'll tell you this, Burrow knows what it's like to be in that position. They both come from LSU, both won the Heisman, both had dream seasons. But here's the key point, and it's something Burrow highlighted. Daniels isn't getting the credit he deserves as a passer. Now I ask you, are we underestimating Jayden Daniels because he's fast, agile, and can move well outside the pocket? I think so. And let me tell you something more. Burrow isn't just being a good teammate by praising Daniels. No. He sees the real potential in this kid. And if there's one thing Burrow understands, it's what it takes to make the jump from being a good college player to becoming one of the best in the NFL. Think about it. Burrow was also underestimated before his historic season at LSU. Nobody saw him as a first-rounder, not even as an NFL pick. And what did he do? He broke records, took home the Heisman, and now he's one of the top QBs in the league. So why couldn't Daniels do the same? And this is what gets me thinking. Here we have a young, dynamic quarterback with incredible athletic ability. But according to Burrow, he has something more. Excellent passing technique. That's what we need to hear. Because we all know that having quick legs is great. But if you can't throw the ball with precision, it won't get you far in this league. Burrow doesn't give out praise lightly. If he says Daniels can be a great passer, then it's worth paying attention. And keep this in mind, friends. The Bengals and Commanders are set to clash soon. And Burrow knows that if his team wants to avoid starting 0-3, they'll have to get past Daniels. But make no mistake, this matchup isn't just about the teams. It's also a showdown between two generations of LSU QBs. Alright, let's dive in, family. Here's something to think about. Are we being too conservative with Jayden Daniels? Or are we doing what's necessary to protect him and develop him as the future leader of the Commanders? Let me know your thoughts because I want to hear what you think. Every opinion counts. But we're not stopping there. Now I ask you, should we make these important moves before Week 3? Should we bring in a veteran like Russell Gage to boost our offense and Patrick Peterson to solidify the secondary? I believe we should, but I want to know from you. Are we ready to compete at the highest level, or are we going to let other teams steamroll us? Tell me what you think down below. And I can't leave without posing this question. Do you think Daniels has what it takes to be the next great quarterback for this franchise? If Joe Burrow sees potential in him, maybe it's time for us to see it too. Are we ready to trust him as our leader? Or should we keep looking for alternatives in the market? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from the true fans of the Commanders. Finally, family, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any exclusive news about your Commanders. I'll be bringing you a daily video with the most important updates about the team. If you find value in this video, help me out with a like and by subscribing, because we're a community, we're a family. And remember, hail to the Redskins!